Hey, what's happening? Jarrell here. We're about to cover Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. yes, you know, be honest with you, I didn't really get too heavy into it back then. Back then, I was really rocking pretty heavy with Lord of the Rings, that trilogy. So I never really got too heavy into Harry Potter, and so I I watched a marathon of Harry Potter. And I loved it. I really did. I'm kind of I know I feel like I'm late to the show or late to the party, but at the same time, I absolutely loved it. I'm very happy I got to experience all of Harry Potter. Now, for the first movie, I have to talk about Richard Harris. Richard Harris playing Albus Dumbledore is bar none a dope wizard, a very dope wizard, and what was to follow did not move me until later down the line. So that being said, Richard Harris is amazing. That acting. Like, even though it's not like the titular role or whatever, you still feel his presence within it. It's very, it's enchanting. It's magical. It pulls you in. That's some wizardry for you. I really I liked it. I thought the origin story of Harry Potter was awesome. The fact that it was directed by Christopher Columbus, and Christopher Columbus, by the way, did Home Alone 1 and 2, and so I like I loved that feel to it. I loved that Maggie Smith was in it, Grandma Wendy from Hook. Like, there were things in this show that made me feel like my childhood was reawakened and reignited. I really enjoyed what I saw and got to see it. And I'll say this, man. When I was a kid, it was like bits and pieces of Harry Potter. I never really got into it. I didn't get too heavy into the Quidditch matches and all that stuff when things were popular, when people were sitting next to me with their books open of Harry Potter. I wasn't too knee deep into it. I knew it was a trend at the time. I was a little interested, but never got to the point to where I wanted to buy a book. Now, I want to say that it is incredible, and I missed out, but at the same time, sometimes ignorance is bliss, only to discover the wonder of it. It's almost like your first time going to the science museum, and as a child you were just in full-blown wonderment of how awesome and amazing the experience is. Kind of the same feeling I felt when I first watched Harry Potter in full, where I saw all the elements to it, all the friendships being built, Hermione Granger, Ronald Weasley, and Harry Potter himself. Like, I loved that there was a truth to the building of the friendships. It's like their chemistry felt real. There were it just it was interesting. I want you to kind of watch this a little bit to a degree, to pay attention to certain things, like of how they're growing and getting to know each other, and what's interesting is the dynamic between Ronald Weasley and Hermione. Like, it seems like the first time they meet, they almost don't like each other too heavy. Ronald Weasley is always like, she's so analytical and always got to get her spell right, and this rubs her the wrong way. But what's interesting is down the line, it's almost establishing a relationship between those two. Like, the person that's bothering the other person is more likely to be the one that's the love interest, if in films or even in life. emotional tension is a real thing. I kind of felt like Harry Potter and Hermione probably would not get together. And me not reading the books, I just picked up on that. It just felt like just homies. It's not. There's nothing. No arguments happening between these two. But it's interesting how it wound up the way that I thought just from the beginning of Harry Potter and to the very end of the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Or it's interesting of the relationship dynamic. So I think it's very interesting to pay attention to that. Just a little extra thing I thought to throw in there, because it's like not too many people growing up or even it's like they got to figure the shit out themselves, and sometimes it's always good to see a little bit of it on the way up there. So that is it's an important aspect of getting with somebody is emotional tension. Make sure it's good. You don't want it bad. Good, bad, and ugly. Get all the more terrible. But yeah, I thought I wanted to throw that in there. But all in all, I thought Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone felt new, felt fresh. The casting was on point. It was absolutely on point. Daniel Radcliffe was amazing. I love the rebel factor of him, that where damn near in every movie he's in, he's always doing the total opposite of what he's been told. Like, oh, you told me that? Oh, well, I'm going to do this anyway. Friends, come along. We're getting out of here. So, yeah, I liked the rebel in him. I liked that he didn't much care if he thought in the terms of right and wrong, more so than he thought in the terms of like rules or whatever. And I felt like Harry Potter was very much how do you say, a wild card, a joker, but with a good heart. And I recommend this movie. I felt like this was another glimpse of my childhood in a way, especially seeing Grandma Wendy, and also the feels of Christopher Columbus's movies are close to what I feel like when I'm watching a Steven Spielberg child-like movie. So I felt Hook in it a little bit. Now, Hook is my shit. Hook is what I grew up with. Hook is hook a hook you. You know, what is it Rufio says? Looky, I got hooky. Yeah, man, so sit back and enjoy it. By the way, where you can find it in its entirety is on HBO Max, and from, what is it? I'm trying to think. It's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, what's for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. 5 is oh man, it's slipping. But anyway, you get the gist. Watch this movie. It's fun. It's exciting. I think there's a level of where it wakes up your inner child and intrigue. You know, if you got kids and things, good shit to watch with them. I think it's fun. It's exciting. It sparks the imagination on so many fronts. What an amazing movie. All right. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe for your boy. This is Relish Pictures. Peace out.